He shoved her into a table. Left her bruised. Scared. Crying. That night, I swore I'd make him regret it, without ever laying a hand on him. And by the time I was done, his academic career? Erased. His student visa? At risk. His future? Gone. If you've ever wished you could deliver cold, perfect justice without lifting a finger, hit that like button and subscribe. Because today, you're about to witness a revenge so clean, so final. It left no trace but devastation. Back when dial-up internet was still a novelty, I was a student at my local junior college. Life was pretty chill. Books, classes, ramen dinners. And I had just moved in with my girlfriend, Lucy. We figured sharing rent would save money and bring us closer. And for a while, it did. One weekend, Lucy told me she'd invited a new friend from one of her classes over for game night. I didn't think much of it. The more, the merrier. A few mutual friends joined too, and the night was full of laughter, card games, and shared stories. That's when I met Sarah. To my surprise, I actually knew her from high school. We weren't close, more like friendly acquaintances, but it felt good reconnecting. She was smart, fun, and had that magnetic energy that lights up a room. From that point on, she became a regular at our place. Game nights, movie marathons, Sunday spaghetti dinners. She was always welcome. But she didn't always come alone. Sarah had a boyfriend. Let's call him Jay. From the moment Jay walked through the door, something felt off. He'd sit there like a statue, arms crossed, eyes scanning the room, not saying a word. Everyone would be laughing, joking, playing charades, and Jay? Stone-faced. Uncomfortable. Distant. He didn't belong, and he knew it. But we invited him out of respect for Sarah. Thankfully, he only came around a couple of times before he started making excuses not to show up. Honestly, no one missed him. Then one evening, Lucy got a call. I'll never forget her face when she picked up. Pale. Eyes wide. Silent. Then suddenly full of panic. Sarah was crying on the other end of the line. She asked if she could come over immediately. Of course, we said yes. When she arrived, it was like someone had shattered her from the inside. Red eyes, trembling hands, makeup streaked down her cheeks. She clutched Lucy like a lifeline. Then she told us what happened. Jay had accused her of cheating. With who? He didn't say. Maybe me. Maybe Lucy. Maybe both of us. The idea was so absurd it was almost laughable. But Jay wasn't laughing. He had snapped. He called her disgusting things. Screamed at her. Spit venom with every word. And when she tried to leave, tried to walk past him, he shoved her. Hard. She fell backward over a coffee table, hitting her lower back so badly it left a massive bruise. Lucy saw the bruise later. I didn't. I didn't need to. Just hearing it was enough. Sarah, through sobs, insisted it was the first time. That it was probably just an accident. That he didn't mean it. But I knew better. Men like Jay don't accidentally shove women who try to leave. And I knew this. If I didn't do something, next time it wouldn't be a bruise. It'd be a broken rib. Or worse. That night, I couldn't sleep. My hands itched with fury. I wanted to track him down and knock him out cold. I'm a big guy, but I've never been in a fight. Violence wasn't my style. But justice? That was something I understood all too well. And it just so happened. I had access to the perfect weapon. At the time, I worked in the college's administration office as a student employee. Boring job, but it came with privileges. I could access records, class schedules, enrollment data, student IDs. And Jay. He was a student here, too. So I pulled up his file. There it was. Name. Schedule. ID number. Classes. Fees. Everything I needed. The clock was ticking. We were just days away from the final deadline to drop or add classes. After that, everything locked in for the semester. No changes without major hassle or administrative approval. It was now or never. So I walked into the office early the next morning. Sat at the old analog enrollment phone. Back then, online systems weren't common yet. You had to use special phones to call into the enrollment line and make changes via automated prompts. With steady fingers and a racing heart, I dialed in. And I nuked his entire schedule. Every single class. Dropped. Then I added him to as many classes as I could that had extra course fees. Art. Photography. Music. Anything that charged extra. At our school, if you owed any fees, you couldn't access transcripts. Couldn't re-enroll. Couldn't transfer. You were effectively frozen until your balance was paid. Oh, and one more thing? Jay was a foreign student. If he wasn't enrolled in the minimum number of credits, he could lose his visa. Game. Set. Match. I walked out of that building with my heart pounding, adrenaline roaring through my veins. No one saw me. No trace. No evidence. And I never told a soul. Days later, Sarah nervously mentioned she had to go back to class, the same English class she and Jay both shared. She was terrified he'd be there. Terrified he'd confront her again. But what she described when she came home, that was the moment I knew I'd won. She walked into the classroom. Jay was already there. But something was different. There was a new guy standing awkwardly near the back. No seat, no materials. The professor walked in. Looked around. Something was off. So she did a head count. Then a roll call. When she got to Jay's name. Nothing. He wasn't on the list. Jay stood up, confused. Tried to argue. Claimed there had to be a mistake. But the professor shook her head. Sorry. You're not enrolled. You'll have to take it up with administration. Jay stood there, fuming. Red-faced. But helpless. Sarah said he never came back to that class again. And when I checked his file weeks later, all the paid classes were gone. But he wasn't re-enrolled in anything else either. I don't know what happened after that. Maybe he was forced to go back to his country. Maybe he paid the fees and kept quiet. Maybe he transferred out of humiliation. But I do know this. Sarah was never hurt again. And Jay. He learned a lesson he'll never forget. He thought no one would stop him. That his anger gave him control. That hurting her would go unpunished. But I made sure the system, the very foundation his life depended on, turned against him. Without leaving a trace. Without ever getting caught. That's the beauty of quiet revenge. It whispers, while it destroys. Sometimes we wish justice would come faster. That someone would step in when the system doesn't. But every now and then, someone does. Quietly. Completely. And without mercy. If that story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell us in the comments. What's the coldest revenge you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe for more real stories of justice, karma, and consequences. Music suggestions for this script as well?